Greetings, I'm Dr. Sean Reed, author of The Dating Toolbox, available on Amazon.com. All right, guys, so look, we need to build a community of men getting better at getting women to love us and stay in love with us. So if you like what you see and hear today, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button. Okay, so today I want to talk about how to use text to get that first date, or texting 101, or how to text properly. I had a video about a month ago about what not to do. This video is going to be about what to do. And so by the end of this video, you should have a pretty good idea of how to text in order to get a date. I've seen zillions of videos on this topic, and really, everyone talks about this little trick, that little trick. But the reality is that really there's one basic rule. Today I'm going to talk about 5 things you can do to improve the chances that she'll give you that first date. But there's one thing that really is of paramount importance, and that is emotional detachment. When you text, you must be emotionally detached. You must not be obsessed with the outcome of that text message. And if you really adhere to that one rule, that's the most important thing. Everything else will fall into place. For example, a guy will send a text and he'll become obsessed with that woman responding or not responding. And that's the sort of thing, guys, I really want us to avoid, all right? So that's the number one rule when it comes to texting. You must be emotionally detached. And the key to that emotional detachment is to have other options. If you only have one phone number, if you're only texting one woman, you're going to become obsessed with the outcome of that text. And that's really what is going to kill you when it comes to texting. When you have 10 phone numbers and you know you'll have options if that first girl doesn't answer your text, that is what is really going to make you a successful texter. So really, rule number 1 is to be emotionally detached from the outcome. If you adhere to that rule, if you have other options, if you're gaining lots of women, if you're talking to lots of women, if you're getting lots of phone number, you're getting lots of dates, you're going to be able to text effectively. Okay, that's kind of related to the number of texts we send. Okay, I don't want you guys sending a ton of texts. The general rule is we want to send about 3 or 4 texts, and then we want to date close. I'll unpack this idea a little bit later. Let's look at rule number 2 when it comes to texting. That rule is number 2 is if she is interested, she will respond. Okay? So basically, if you send a text, don't send a bunch of follow-up texts. She'll respond or she won't. If you send a text, say within a 24-hour period she doesn't respond, send one more text, and then that is it, okay? So we're not going to be sending a whole bunch of texts, all right? Either if she likes you, if she's interested in you, she will respond. If not, sending a bunch of texts is only going to make things worse. In a lot of cases, let's say if a gal is really busy, she has a super long day at work, she's tied up, she's not able to get back to you, but then the next day she's able to get back to you. If you had only sent one follow-up text, you're going to be okay. If you had sent a bunch of texts, hey, why aren't you texting me, blah, 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 you're going to drive her interest level lower. So we're looking at really a total of 3 to 4 texts, and if she doesn't respond, only one follow-up text. This is related to rule number 3. We're not using texting to get to know a woman. The purpose of texting is to get that date, okay? We get to know a woman while we're on the date. As a matter of fact, that's the purpose of the first date. That's why we do an action date. We do something light. We don't do anything too expensive. We do something that'll just give us a general idea if we're compatible with this woman. We do that on the date, guys. We don't do it via texting. So we're not trying to get to know someone. We're not trying to get, their deepest, darkest secrets, their life history by doing texting. Texting is purely for getting the date, okay? This leads us to rule number 4 when it comes to texting. Ask open-ended questions, okay? What you don't want to get into is you don't want to get into a situation where she's answering yes or no. These are known as closed-ended questions. So avoid questions that can be answered with a yes or no. Ask open-ended questions like, oh, when you were little, what did you want to do? Right? Me, I wanted to be an astronaut. Ask open-ended questions that get her talking. All right. You want to get fairly full responses from her. That's going to drive her interest level up. For example, a great one could be, oh, if I were attacked by an unlimited amount of 6-year-olds, how many could I take out before they would take me out? Right? Some crazy open-ended questions like that work very well. Okay. So we ask open-ended questions. All right. And again, guys, we're keeping our texting fairly short. We're keeping it fairly tight. Back when I was dating, I would call a girl up. We didn't use texting much, but we did have email. So if you were on a dating site, those first few emails were similar to what is texting today. And again, about 3 or 4 emails before you try and close for the date. Don't get into too much detail on these emails. I once made a mistake as this gal. I designed we were texting back and forth, and I asked her about working out. She said, oh, yes, I like working out. And I said, instead of closing for the date, what I should have done is I should have done a close and said, hey, let's go to the gym. I'll help you with your workout. By the way, that's a great first date. If a girl likes to work out and you're a bodybuilder or really knowledgeable about training, meeting her at the gym and going through a workout with her is a great idea for a first date. It does something called demonstrating excellence in her presence. So, but what I did instead of meeting her, instead of date closing after 3 emails, I typed up a full workout for her, and that overwhelmed her and she lost interest. So the same principle applies with emails. We keep them fairly short. We use open-ended questions. And again, that purpose is to get to the date. It's not to get to know her. So we ask open-ended questions. Finally, a great use of text is for logistics. Okay. The purpose of the text is to get the date and then to make sure you're meeting at the right place. So what I used to do on Sundays is I would meet women at the Starbucks, okay? And I would use text to make sure we're going to the right Starbucks. They're meeting at the right time. Once you get a girl to close for a date, you don't want to send a lot of follow-up texts. You basically want to disappear until the date, but using text to make sure that you're both meeting at the right place, using text for logistics is a great use of text, and that's one of their purposes. All right, guys, so these are basically 5 rules when it comes to texting, how to text properly. Again, texting is designed to get the date. We're not going to get know the woman on the text. The number 1 rule is emotional detachment. Don't get obsessed with her responses. Again, if she does not respond to a text, you've got to move on to another woman, so emotional detachment is key. All right, guys. Again, if you like what you saw, if you like what you heard today, please hit that like and subscribe button, and happy dating.